Hi.
Hi.
What's up? What's new?
It's Friday, finally. Oh my goodness, this was a long week.
There's a lot going on this week. I did a talk at a university a few days ago.
What university?
PP Portland.
PP University?
University.
Got invited to hang out at PP.
Yeah, PP. University of Portland University. PU.
P. So is that like part of the University of Oregon?
No, that's different. I just unplugged my mouse. Hold on.
Oh my God. Hey, Nico. Welcome to Faz Friday. I'm exhausted myself this week. I had to
PSU, not PU. PSU. That's better.
I traveled to our other facility this week, which is 3 hours each way. We had our core team meetings, and those are very intense, learning a new system and helping to reorganize the company I've been with for 12 years. So that's very fun, but exhausting. And so I went in, I cleaned up the mess in the office today from being gone for a week, and here we is.
All right. So what subjects are we talking about today, sir?
Well, I think it will be a wild one, because we're going to talk a little bit deeper into Fit 21 that we started last week. We're going to talk about the political candidates flip-flopping back and flipping over again because they can't figure out what they want to do with crypto. And unfortunately, you spent half a day getting absolutely nowhere in the Gala chat trying to help people nail things down. So
I wanted to find out who the fuck to talk to, because I had a question, I needed an answer, and nobody could give an answer. Well, no, okay, actually, I didn't have a question. Free had the question, and I was just helping him try to find out who the fuck to talk to. And we didn't get anywhere after a couple hours.
Oh, you got somewhere. You got run around like there's no tomorrow.
I think why do realizations, let's put it that way.
So that I think will be an interesting conversation, because I think I skimmed through it when you pointed me to it, and it is kind of a clusterfuck. It really is. I hope.
Free actually was wanting to talk about originally, but we never got the answer.
Well, so PP University offers a master's in PPs, which is why he was probably wanting to go there.
I did a crypto talk at Portland State University.
You never sent me the link for that for the website either, so you didn't click on it that way.
Nope.
So yeah, terrible shill moment. We have CryptoFaz.academy is up and running with an initial page, and that is another milestone. So I chipped away at that and got some of that done. Be working on some more of that this weekend and going into next week. So we're making progress. It's slow because unfortunately I have a day job, and by the evenings I'm exhausted, so I can only put so much in. I have 10,000 things going on. So I am chipping away as fast as I can at those.
Not an excuse, but okay.
No, there is no excuse. I'm just letting people know I haven't forgotten, because we've talked about it for like a month now, and all you get is maintenance pages when you go there. I finally got CFA up at least. I got it up for your PP visit. Right. Oh
You cracked
yeah.
yourself up, I'm sure.
I do.
But yeah, talked about crypto and AI a little bit. And something I found interesting was I thought younger people were a bit more dialed into crypto, but all the questions I got were the ones that you typically hear, which is, you can't trace transactions, it's being used for human trafficking and stuff like that. And I'm like, and the number one thing was, you can't, it's only corrupt people use it. And of course, I came back with the answer of, well, what is used by more corrupt people? What's used the most by corrupt people? It's the U.S. dollar. 10-1. Everything's done with the U.S. dollar. And
you know why, right?
Well, it's cash and it's easy to get. It's probably easy to fake.
Well, it's also because regardless of what chain you're on, if you're not on Monero or a few select others, Zcash, crypto is traceable. Look at our Discord.
Well,
we have
okay.
people that jump on Arkham and can pull a needle out of a haystack, and it's completely traceable. Cash is not.
Yeah. Well, cash is, I mean, it's not easily traceable. Now, digital dollars, like if you were to transfer a large amount of money between banks, there's a couple problems there. If you transferred $50,000 between banks, the banks are going to make note of it and even give you a hard time. If you try to pull a lot of cash out of banks, they're going to give you an extremely hard time. They want 7 forms of ID in 3 days, and they want to talk to a bunch of people. Crypto, you can move around money left and right, but cashing it out, you got to interface with the banking system. And so everybody in the class that I was talking to, they were thinking, well, this is only used by criminals. And what that's really showing me is the politicians. That's what the politicians have really gotten across to them, and the politicians that they respect all think that it's for criminals, and it's not. It's more traceable. In fact, I even pulled up Etherscan at one point because a guy's like, you can't trace crypto transactions. I'm like, oh, challenge accepted. Here, let's see Etherscan.io. And I'm like, this is how you trace them. And I said, You can do this in your spare time. If you want to start snooping on a company and see what they do and send how much money goes back and forth, just get on this site. You see a hack that happens or a hack of Binance or something like that. It's all on the blockchain, dude. Just go and look in the blockchain. Now, of course, you'll stop once you get to the mixers, but I mean, you'll be able to find out what wallets it came from, who was compromised, and at least you'll have some people to start with, versus cash where you don't know where to start. I mean, everybody could have handed them $1 each.
Right.
Let's see. Bug Pooter says he needs bugs. Can you pull up some bugs like you were doing earlier, or is that gone now?
I turned that off, and I'm adding the link for Etherscan and Arkham. Where I forgot the link to Arkham.
And so I'm like, there's a lot of people out there, just individuals that like to trace things down can find stuff on the blockchain. You don't need the feds to do it. So yeah, that was a big thing. Is they basically thought it was illegal, and I mean, all the politicians have really sunk in with their message, and it's going to take a lot of undoing. And what's going to happen is a CBDC is going to come out, and the federal government's going to say, okay, we were against crypto, but now we're for it if you use this one. All the others
of course they will. And every bank is going to jump on and be attached to that CBDC, and you're going to be able to seamlessly just move. Now, we glossed over this in the past, but this is really big. So back when I was in the financial world, when you wanted to trade a stock, you had what's called T+3, which means that trade wasn't settled for the trade date, which is T, plus 3 days after. So if you bought something on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it would settle on Friday. So it's cumbersome and it's old. The rumor has it that started, somebody educated us on this. It might have been Golden Hawk. that it was back from the days of the Pony Express, because it would take 3 days for your stock certificate to get from New York by Pony Express wherever it went. So it wasn't final till you had your stock certificate. But now
lasted like 9
everything is like completely and totally electronic now. So
I don't think it was Pony Express.
The
like 9 months, dude.
Well, let me explain this. So they just changed it a couple of months ago. Now it's T+1. So they're getting a little bit better. So FINRA accepted those changes, and so now it's a little bit better at least, but it's not as instant as crypto is. Faz he got my money 14 seconds after I bought that bug earlier.
Speaking of, which is, I appreciate that. Speaking of getting money, Gemini has finally paid people, because I was one of the people that had money on Gemini. I had part of a Bitcoin, and I got that back. I got the actual part of the Bitcoin. I didn't get cash, so of course I had to sell it, but to get the money. But the important part is Gemini has paid people back, and they have made me 97% whole. I don't know why they're paying 97% right now, but
I had a bunch of GRT. That was from the Earn program, not just the platform. So just to be clear, it wasn't like they just got things locked up from the platform. So I complained to Faz when that email came out, because Gemini is doing something that I don't like. And what they're doing is I love Gemini. That was the only place I would go to trade or cash out or anything.
Yep.
Because Coinbase is just ridiculous with fees and hoops you got to jump through. So Gemini now, you have to have an approved address. And if you don't have an approved address, you can't move crypto off to another crypto address. And it takes 7 days. You have a 7-day waiting period to have your address approved, which is absolutely ridiculous, because as you pointed out when we first talked about it, they have your address anyway from where you transferred it in from. Now, the approved process, they're bringing it from a different perspective, from the marketing perspective. We're trying to keep you safe. Even if your account gets compromised, they can't send it to anywhere except your address. Because of this 7-day waiting period, it'll give you a chance to realize that someone else is trying to take money out to a different address. They're spinning it their way, of course.
It's kind of funny. I just use the wallet that I just commonly transfer things in with as my out address. I don't know what the hell they're approving. I mean, it's you'd think it'd be done immediately if they're going to just slap it in a database. Maybe they're comparing it against a list, but it shouldn't take 7 days to do that.
Right. I think it's just a waiting period. Wait a minute. No, not that one. I wasn't looking at that one. What in the hell is this, Shanrat? How am I sounding like Gala? That is the worst insult you could possibly give me.
Don't you hate it when people start pigeonholing you? Apparently, there's some sort of thing where Bitbender and Gala says, "Tell Faz I said hi." That's been people have been telling me that lately. So apparently, Bitbender has me pegged as Well, he calls me the janitor at the asylum. He thinks everybody else is crazy and that I'm the sane one. But I'm just saying the things that they are just nicer. That's really it. He's turned off by the fact that they're not nice. You were delayed in releasing your website.
That's good, Shanrat. I like that. You're right. I am. It's coming soon.
Yeah, I just don't promise.
I do. I see. That's my problem. And people think I'm lazy, and I'm really not. I literally work 7 days a week. If I'm not at my day job, which is 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, literally all weekend long I work. I come here on Friday nights, do FazRadio. I have at least an hour post show after we get done with this of work. Then on Saturdays, I have to create the shorts. I have to curate the shorts, and I have to get the shorts posted. Then my wife has her ghost hunting business, so I have to set up for her stuff. And when she does her podcast, on those nights we do that. And then I have to take and create content for her socials and post all those. Sunday, I have yard work pretty much all day. And when I'm not yard working, I'm finishing up all the other business stuff and working on my website that I'm developing. And then I go back to work Monday morning. So I am like 24/7 besides sleeping, which is like 6 hours a day. I'm working. So as Faz likes to say, you're right. There's no excuse. But at the same time, if I tell you I'm going to do something, I will do it. It just may not be as quickly as some think it will be.
So for what it's worth, I'm lazier than Titan. I do not promise dates. I mentioned that I got the game out there and stuff, and I said I was working on it, but I never gave a date. And then I got it to a certain level of finishing, and then I started going on something else. So I do want to get that card game out there, though, but that's going to take some time. And I'm finding out I'm having some issues working with the Web3 stuff, getting things.
And when you learn it, I told you I want to learn that. You have to teach me when you figure it out, and I want to have that in my pocket because I'm going to have to code all 3 of your sites like that as well. And I need to be able to know what I'm doing.
Oh, well, no, I'm doing Web3 stuff in Unity. What a problem I'm having is getting the DLLs to work with it, which I found out that I probably have a bad install of Unity. And so I'm taking too long because I don't want to uninstall and reinstall and do all this stuff because it's really annoying.
Well, I've got to get the Rabby SDK, and you have to show me how to deploy that on a website.
Oh, yeah.
It's a back end thing, and I don't know how to work on the back end. I'm the front pretty looking stuff guy. Mm-hmm. And Shanrat, no, don't worry. I know. I understand completely. That was a really good joke, actually. And hey, I pick on you guys quite often, so I'm okay getting picked on too. I'm telling you, no, Nick, you're absolutely right. So Faz and I have been hustling for years now, and lately, this last year, it's been even deeper. We've been really pushing hard at getting our own gigs going, and working with others and helping them get along. I mean, I've been on this 7-day schedule now since like May or June of last year. It'll shortly be a year that I've been going 7 days around the clock. So hopefully something good will come out of this stuff here real soon.
Let me share my screen here. I'll show what I've been busting my ass doing.
Yeah, I just pulled your other one up. I was going to throw it up, but then I got sidetracked again.
I'll do it here. What am I doing? Where'd your screen go? There you are.
Here, I'll add it so you can stay on. The reward is the self-satisfaction of getting things accomplished, at least at this point for me.
All right, so we got some new bugs here. We're up to 500. I think I need to do that here to refresh the latest.
You just got to get recently created from the drop down at the top, and then it'll refresh that way.
Mm-hmm. So we're up to 500 of these little alt bugs.
Oh, and by the way, I do want to make this while Faz is gearing up to tell you about the bugs. Because we're on OpenSea a lot every week, pretty much with his zip bugs, you don't have to out yourself if you're not comfortable. But if you don't know how to work OpenSea or don't know how to browse or connect your wallet or anything, you can jump in and direct message me or Faz, and we can walk you through how to do that. I know that some people may be on the newer side to crypto here. So if you have any difficulty finding OpenSea or connecting or anything else, let us know. And if you don't do it publicly, that's okay. You can privately DM us.
Okay, this is the 500th zip bug alt here that I got, and I've been doing a lot of these guys and been really occupied by them. So these are all for sale. And I've been getting very, very creative with these guys. So just wanted to show what I was working on here. Anyway, that was it. Nothing really big about that. So what were we planning to talk about? We were talking about politics. The
Some
new.
of it was politics. So we had a double flip flop. So it started with the big news earlier in the week. Biden had suddenly flip flopped his anti-crypto stance and decided he loved crypto all of a sudden. And for 2 whole days, he absolutely loved crypto, wanted to support it, and yada yada hooey. And then today, one of the bills that was sent in for presidential signature, which was the SDB, what was it? I want to get the name right so you don't make fun of me. Let's see, let's click on it here. It was SAB 121. And it was to allow the highly regulated and/or banking industry to custody crypto and Bitcoin. And he rejected it, vetoed sending it back. And his reasons were, it inappropriately constrains the SEC's ability to set forth appropriate guardrails and address future issues. The reversal of the continued judgment of SEC staff undercuts SEC's broader authorities regarding accounting practices. My administration will not support measures that jeopardize the well-being of consumers and investors. Appropriate guardrails that protect consumers and investors are necessary to harness the potential benefit and opportunity of crypto asset innovation. Bullshit. Bullshit. You want to control it.
So weren't they just for that like a day or two ago?
Yes, he spent 2 days being very, very pro crypto because they're realizing that there is a huge voting populace that will be going to the polls in November, and they want to both kiss up to the crypto crowd. And so Mr. Trump at the same time had previously put out documents and papers that he was against Bitcoin and against crypto when he was president, but suddenly he's like Johnny Bitcoin, and he wants to see the innovation, and he wants to make America great again, starting with crypto. And they're both jumping on the crypto bandwagon, but Grandpa Joe just took a step the other direction again. We'll see how many times they flip-flop.
So, what about the Republicans? What are they doing about crypto? I know Trump is actually now accepting crypto for his for his campaign. Actually,
he is.
He wants to protect your Bitcoin, if he even knows what that is.
They know of it. You're right. Faz was telling me right before the show, hey, they probably know what it is, but don't know what it is, if that makes sense to you. So they know that it exists, but no, they don't know. I don't think either. I don't think they know what it represents, what it means, how it works. And if you told them to go get a MetaMask account, they would not know how to do that.
Yeah, I kind of feel that Trump would not even give a shit about crypto if he gets elected.
You don't think?
No.
He would probably go with the advisors. I mean, I think that's what Biden's doing, is he's just, whatever his handlers tell him to do, he's doing. And you never know who his handler is going to be on any given day. Apparently, that's what I would guess, because for 2 days he had a handler that said push it. And now suddenly there's a lot of people on crypto Twitter that are saying now that Trump got convicted in his court case, Biden doesn't have to pander to that anymore, because they're under the impression that Trump's conviction will seal it for Biden. And I think it's going to go the other way. I think that makes him more popular being convicted.
I think he would flip on that immediately after becoming president. I don't think he'd even care. He'd just be like, well, because he came out just a few years ago saying that Bitcoin was based on nothing, and now he likes Bitcoin. He wants to protect Bitcoin. So I personally don't think the politicians know or care about it. That changes who's in power, and if they don't understand what that is, they're not for it.
I think they want to for the technology side of it, so they can take some credit for increasing the technology level of America. But I think the fact that it's making ridiculous amounts of money for people that's not named the government is a problem. That's where their focus is. They're having a hard time harnessing the taxes on that. They're having a hard time managing where all the money is going, which is what they love, right? To know where everything's going, what they're doing. And companies are complaining because they can't collect data on people. I mean, they can collect data on a wallet address, but they have no idea who to tie that to. So there's a million different angles here on the financial side that's driving them absolutely crazy.
Well, it would take concerted effort, in my opinion, kind of like when the internet became a thing in the 90s. It took a concerted effort to actually address that and solve that problem.
Well, crypto runs the same way, just like AI and everything else. It started with that internet, and you've explained this, 100 times over the years on this cast, that everybody had said, "Oh my God, the sky is falling. We're all going to lose our jobs because of the internet. Oh my God, we're all going to lose our jobs and our livelihood because of crypto. Oh my God, AI is going to take all our jobs." And it turns it into a tool. Will people lose their jobs? Absolutely. Just like a lot of people lost their jobs when cell phones came out, right? The Bell network. And then it split into the Baby Bells, and then those Baby Bells even disappeared, and people lost their jobs. But at the same time, you've got to upgrade yourself. Meaning, just because you lose your job because the AI can do something better than you can, that means that you need to upgrade yourself to figure out how to be the one programming that AI or utilizing that tool in that profession, if that's what you like to do. Well, lawyers are a prime example.
Slow down. I want to address what Shanrat said first and get back into the AI tools. Having banks, which have been known to go under from time to time, is a little more complicated to manage, especially in the early stages. Banks aren't needed for crypto. That's the thing. Now, of course, banks can custody stuff like that, sure, but crypto doesn't need banks. Banks really are just, nice to have for an account for somebody like Coinbase. When they offer you money for crypto, then you can then pull it down to your bank, but they really don't need to manage crypto. And I don't think they do. But that becomes a problem. I mean, if you have a bank managing crypto, which ones do they manage? I mean, it's going to be which one? Bitcoin, Ethereum, all of them? Each one of them is kind of different.
Well, and if they manage ETH, they're going to want to manage wallets for all of your crypto. So they'll have their own, instead of MetaMask, it'll be the Chase wallet, and it'll manage all your crypto. So a lot of people don't understand banking, let alone money, right? Banks don't even have their own checking accounts. They buy them or rent them from other companies. And every checking account is connected to pretty much the same place. It's called Fiserv, Fiserv, and they're located in Florida. And every transaction gets routed through there. And these banks will buy or rent these checking accounts so that people can assign numbers so you can have a checking account number. But the bank, it isn't, they are literally nothing but a shell of a middleman that helps facilitate the process. That's all they do. And a lot of people don't understand that. When they go, they think their bank is all self-contained and they have all their stuff right in there. That's not the case. That's furthest from the truth.
Well, remember also, banks don't deal with actual money. What they're actually dealing with is fake money. You loan your money to the bank. It's your account is not a real actual account. Is just a tabulation of what they owe you, because they take your money and they lend it out to somebody else. That's what they're going to do with crypto too. So you have Bitcoin in an account with your bank, you'll be lending them Bitcoin, just like Gemini Earn. I lent them my Bitcoin, and then it took me two and a half years to get it back. So you're going to be lending them your Bitcoin. They're not going to be your wallet provider. Your wallet is always going to be your wallet. A bank is just going to do what the crappy job that they do with money with crypto, and they'll fuck it up just like they do with money.
It's not going to be self-custody, though they'll sell it as that. Because if you think about it, if it's going to be regulated and the bank's going to be the custodian, they're going to have the triggers to be able to stop you from pulling out, $100,000 on a moment's notice. They're going to have to report all the transactions over $10,000, right? They're going to have the ability, like they've done with people's regular dollar bills. If you go to the bank and want $5,000, they got to ask you 50 questions on why you want it. And they may not even give it to you. They don't have to give it to you. They're going to do the same thing with any crypto wallet or custodial services that they have. And that's not what crypto's about.
Okay. So Nick here says he disagrees. They can't really do that. Crypto can verify transactions. General public can't see what they do with our money right now. People won't want banks doing that when they can see it. What are you disagreeing with? It sounds like we're actually agreeing here. What can't they really do? Rehypothecate our Bitcoin? Gemini actually rehypothecated our Bitcoin, or rather their Gemini Earn program did that. So I want to get an idea of what you disagree with. It sounds like we're talking about the same thing. Crypto can indeed verify transactions. Nick says, basically, most people don't know or understand that they lend out money. Okay, so it sounds like we agree, yeah. Banks don't manage, you don't have money in a bank. You have an IOU in a bank, if they see it.
Right.
But yeah, your money, when you put it in a bank, you're like, here, bank, take my money and do whatever with it. And they're like, yeah, okay, so I owe you $1,000. And when you ask for it back, yeah, I'll pay it. That is, unless the bank goes under. But so it's with crypto, if they are required to follow the rules of crypto, which is actually keep actual, you have one Bitcoin, I'm going to store one Bitcoin in your account. I think banks are going to have a problem with that because they're not set up to do that.
And they would have to have some sort of permission to rehypothecate as well.
Well,
so you would be basically giving them permission to use your Bitcoin. Just
like with Gemini Earn, you would do that. So I had my money in Gemini. I moved it over to Gemini Earn. It left my Gemini account, went into my Gemini Earn account. They then took it and rehypothecated it and do whatever. So, yeah, what pisses, let's see. Verifiable ledgers would completely stamp out doing that. The point is, a bank isn't required. So they can custody your crypto, but they're taking it, I would say, in a sense, off the blockchain to do the ledger themselves rather than using the blockchain, because you'd send it to their wallet and then they keep track of it after that. And then, of course, they'd send it back whenever you wanted it back, unless they went under. I used BlockFi. I put my money into BlockFi. BlockFi lost all their money. Luckily, I got mine out before then, but BlockFi lost all their crypto. Turns out that they're using FTX to store these coins. Well, FTX was lying about what they had. So that's like me using Gemini Earn for the exchange itself. So yeah, it was just a big lie as to who was holding what. When you put stuff on the blockchain yourself, it's not a lie. It's in your wallet. You control that. But the moment that somebody else manages it, anybody else manages your crypto or your dollars or whatever, it's not your money anymore. It's theirs.
Yeah, that's really big. So I was a big fan a few years ago, and I used Nexo a lot. I had stuff staked over there, and I was getting like 7%. it was fantastic. And then the U.S. government reached out and smacked their winky and said, you can't offer that anymore to U.S. customers. Otherwise, we're going to bury you. And so they stopped paying interest. But it was fantastic. They had tiers, and you could get up to 8, 9, 10% on some of your crypto. And we know that that's dangerous, right? Because the yield has to come from somewhere. But at the same time, it was competing directly with the banks because the banks were only paying less than 1% for cash in there. And you could take USDT or USDC and deposit it somewhere else and instantly start getting, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10%.
Yeah.
And they didn't want anything to do with that. They shut that down in a big hurry. Now, Coinbase, as you know, is under a lot of scrutiny right now. They're still, I was just there the other day. I logged into my Coinbase account because I screwed up and I forgot Gemini didn't have the token that I was selling, and it was actually on Coinbase. But they're paying 5.53% on your USDC balances, which is still even way better than the bank. But
I have, they're doing that. That's USDC doing that. I don't think that's Coinbase, but I have some fetch in Coinbase's little earn program. But again, I think that earn program is something, I bet it's held by somebody else. I bet it's not held by Coinbase because you can't get that out unless you wait a long time, like 15 days or something.
Right.
I broke it out that way also. But anyway, what Nick here says, on the flip side, banks might like verifiable ledgers. My thought is, yeah. So if you've heard of Ripple and XRP, that's what Ripple is. That's that's one of their product offerings. Is that they would be able to use the ledger, the XRP ledger, in the bank, and they're trying to sell this to banks. Like, this is how you can manage our crypto, and you can have your own little private ledger and stuff like that. And then you can send it back out of the bank and to other people, and that would be to the public ledger. What'd you do there? I missed it.
I popped up Shanrat. Don't forget about your private key or seed phrase. Also, not your crypto.
Oh, that's the one big thing that I was talking about. When I was talking at the university, is they were like, well, if this is more secure than banks and blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, yeah, what's nice about banks is that they manage your money. If you're not good with money or you don't understand how to keep a ledger or keep things safe, then good. They're better than nobody. The problem is, if you got to do it yourself with crypto, and if you fuck up, it's gone. You lose your passphrase, it's gone. And, banks, oh yeah, they're talking about, you can return things. They're like, okay, if I buy something on Amazon and I return it, they can, or I can say that a transaction is fraudulent, and then I can get my money back. And I'm like, yeah, that's a service that banks provide. And they say, can you do that with crypto? And I said, no. But you know what? Also, you can't do that with cash. Okay, you go buy something from a store from cash, and then you get defrauded. You've got to go chase that down, and you've got to go talk to the store. And if they went out of business, you got to deal with that. So yeah, it is great. Banks have a service that they will help combat fraud, and they charge you for that service, by the way, too, with their interest rates. And so when you have crypto, once things get more mature, there will be entities like banks that will insure purchases and stuff like that. There'll be third parties that'll say, okay, if you buy on Amazon, then if there's fraud, we will pay you back, as long as we can hold the money during the transaction or something like that. So that will be provided. But yeah, at the moment, you're the bank if you're holding crypto.
I am going to share my screen because you sparked something. I read this today, and this is both amazing but also very concerning. Okay, let's see. We want this one.
I'll answer next year while you're doing that. Doesn't that create more centralization? Does it create more centralization when you have somebody insure a purchase? Well, yes and no. You still have your money. if you're choosing to go through a vendor or an insurance company or some sort of insurer that's associated with the vendor, I mean, that's centralization with the purchase, but not with your owning, with you holding your funds. So go ahead.
So this is both wonderful and scary. This gentleman had used RoboForm, which was think of like LastPass or 1Password or Bitwarden, a password generator. It was from a long time ago. It was 11 years ago, and it used to generate like really awesome passwords, right? And so this guy had bought 43.6 Bitcoin 11 years ago, and he used RoboForm to put a password on the file to get into where he was storing his Bitcoin. And he couldn't get to it. And he hunted, and this guy, Joe Grand, realized he was a white hat hacker, and he had realized you could hack RoboForm. And this makes me wonder, of course, about 1Password and all these places. So what he discovered, I'll save you reading through this whole article. What he discovered was really, really simple. If you were to go into, you download the version of RoboForm from that year, right? Whatever version, 12.2.6. And if you had a date range, and the smaller the better, there's a special key it was like a rotating key that would generate passwords, and those are listed in a public forum. So you could grab that key for that period, and you pretend you put it into RoboForm. He did it live in the article. You put that code in there, and you'll see all the passwords that RoboForm generated during that time frame. It's like a key to unlock how it was generating passwords. And so this guy narrowed it down to like a 2-day period of when he created that password. They dug up the information, they put it in, and he got the password and got into his Bitcoin. How wild is that?
Well,
so if you think of it like your authenticator, right? Like every minute you get the new code that comes up. That's what RoboForm was doing to generate the passwords. Is it, every hour or so it would generate a new code, and that's what would generate these passwords, and they're reproducible because it was the same code base. Now, I'm hoping that 1Password and these other passwords aren't doing the same thing. I tell you the truth, I don't know how when you click on generate password, I don't know how it generates the password or if any of that stuff is public, but that is huge, right? That's huge. Maybe you can get into Satoshi's wallet that way.
All right. Are you still planning to share something? You done with that?
Nope, I'm done with all that.
All right. So what do we got? Anything else?
You wanted to walk through a little bit deeper on the Gala. So tell your stories so that they understand where you're coming from.
So I went on to the Gala Discord to go, and I noticed that Free was asking a question, username Free, and he was trying to get the answer out of Bitbender, and I forgot what the answer was, or I forgot what the question was. But the point is, Bitbender's like, I don't know about that project. I don't know about this. And he's like, and Free is like, trying to ask him like, well, who am I supposed to talk to if you don't know this answer? And he was kind of getting the runaround. And so I kind of chimed in. I'm like, okay, Bitbender, you're not part of the Discord anymore. So great. There's got to be another person to ask this question to. And he's like, well, I'm telling you everything I know. It's like, well, yeah, but who else? I think I'm condensing the conversation, but I wanted to know who we talked to. And it got around to like, well, I don't do that anymore. That's something that Gala is going to have to answer. So then I asked, benefactor. And I'm like, hey, benefactor, how do I find out the answer to this question? And he goes, well, that's what I have Bitbender for. So Bitbender's saying he doesn't do it. Benefactor saying Bitbender does it. Somebody came along later and he says, oh, I think you're talking about that specific project. Bitbender knows about this project. And I'm like, well, okay, if we have questions like this, who do we go to? And then came about an hour and a half of just finger pointing. Well, this goes to this. It's a community moderator that would answer this question. So then I'd be okay, what community moderators can answer this question for me? And they're like, well, no, this is more of a customer service thing, or this is a Gala employee thing. We're not Gala employees. And so I'm like, customer service people? Who are those? And they named those names. And I added the customer service people. And they're like, dude, you're going to have to write a ticket for that. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, I thought, so you guys are just here to fix things. It's like this circle jerk. And so then they're like, okay, look, I think that you would just need to go to so-and-so because that so-and-so is like in charge of this project. And I'm like, so I feel like I'm in a grocery store just grabbing a random employee. They're like, oh, this isn't my department. I think you need to go over here. Why don't you just walk in the door and find the right person to talk to? I mean, there should be either a list of people to talk to or one person who can lead you there. So I'm saying maybe you need something like a concierge service where they say, okay, let me get this answer for you. I have talked to so-and-so and gotten this answer, and he's the person that you need to talk to in the future, whatever. And I'm like, well, if you're just going to find the right person for me, I just want just some list of names to where I can just go see product person. But no, they're all pointing to each other, and I'm getting a real sense of disarray and disorder regarding, the splitting up Gala into LFG and stuff like that. Bitbender and all the other people that he's brought over seems to be doing LFG stuff. LFG apparently, as you saw with the interview we had the other day, seems to fill holes in what Gala's doing. Gala's not doing something, and LFG will do it. And it seems like one of them is to be moderators on the Discord. But then when you ask them questions about products and stuff, they're like, well, no, I don't know anything about that. So it's like, okay, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to whoever knows something about the product. Is this going to be a new feature in the future? Whatever. Tell me about the NFTs. And just people pointing fingers at each other. So after several hours of this, I'm just like, oh, what the fuck? How do I even, Free didn't get this question answered. I didn't find out who we can actually go to. And of course, everything's devolving into jokes at that point. I think Free was making a simultaneous argument of, he had some additional argument, which he was getting a bit more pissed than me. But I'm just like, okay, I cannot logically figure out who to talk to at Gala Games. So great. What happens when they have a blow up? Like if they have another fuzzle situation, who's going to come and answer those questions? No one. No one's going to answer those questions. So that's kind of the bummer. So things seem to, I keep getting told that things are getting better for Gala and how things are going. But from what I'm seeing, things are getting much more disorganized, and the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing anymore. So that's kind of a bummer with that. You're muted, sir. You're muted.
That's nothing new. The right hand never knew what the left hand was doing. And even when Brink was there, you'd ask him a question, he never had the answer. So nothing has really changed.
Well, one last thing was what annoyed me was at a certain point, Bitbender and even the community moderators were like, look, we think we've made ourselves clear enough. And I'm like, wait a minute. This isn't a real customer service point of view. You should be saying, did I answer your question? They shouldn't be saying, we think we've made ourselves clear. That's what a press secretary would say. That's not what a customer-facing person on a company Discord would say. Now, I can see it on a community Discord, but not a company Discord. Now, if Gala thinks that their Discord is a community Discord, then they need to stop having the company so involved with it. I think it's a company Discord, and they don't seem to have just a person there who actually can answer questions anymore. Bitbender tried, and he got, admittedly, he got roasted for all that because, he had to answer a lot of questions he didn't know the answers to. and he had to give a lot of tortured answers because some things he was allowed to say and some things he was not. But there's no Bitbender anymore. There's nobody like Bitbender there anymore. So if you want an answer to a question, good luck with that. So here, I'm just looking at this. They're horrible at answering questions. But if you try to compare them to something that's truly Web3 like Bitcoin, can you go to the BTC Discord for an answer? Well, Gala is centralized. Just about everything Gala is centralized. Bitcoin is not. So if you want to treat Gala like Bitcoin, then come to Crypto Faz Academy and we will answer your questions, because that's how a decentralized setup would work. And I'm sorry, I interrupted you twice, sir, or you tried to interrupt me twice.
No, yeah, probably a little of both. So that's really what I posted in Crypto Faz Academy. There was a discussion going on with Free about that, because there's a lot of confusion about what it is that they're doing over there. It seems like they're breaking apart into a bunch of little subcategories and nobody has any information. My question is, and I swear I'm not trying to be a smartass when I say this, but what value does LFG even bring to Gala at this point?
Well,
they don't. You said yourself, they're from the cast you did with Brink. They're a back end company trying to help Gala Chain.
They have
no information. They're a back end, not a front end. Yet, why are they interacting as though they're front end customer support or customer facing and engaging with the customers? That makes no sense. They have no value, because all he can do is go, I don't know, I don't work there. That brings zero value to anybody and anything.
LFG might as well be an arm of Gala. Well, yeah, of course they are. They're former Gala employees, and really they're kind of separating out certain tasks that Gala used to do, which I think honestly they're more of a B2B kind of thing, where they're just getting things done that Gala needs done. As far as sidestepping regulations, yeah, sounds like they can that there's some opportunities there.
There's screenshots of the opportunity where they're going to attempt to break the law.
So yeah, can we talk about how LFG's employees having authority tools, being able to post updates or announcements? Well, I've worked for companies as a contractor before and had full privileges on their network to totally just destroy the hell out of things if I wanted to. I think I have a feeling that Gala, my 2 cents is that Gala, the company Gala, is going to be split up more and more and more, and then the parts can be sold off. I think they're a takeover target, personally, because and they'll just split off a lot of things that they want to keep, and then be like, okay, well, so and so can buy Gala now.
There's 100 theories going around about that. That one makes sense too. That would be the way to do it, because eventually someone's going to catch up with it, whether it's the customer base that rises up against them in court, whether they lose some of the court cases they're already in, whether the SEC steps in, whether the IRS steps in, whether anybody else steps in. It's just, I don't see a lot of value anymore. And I think it's their attempt to try and back out of that stuff. And listen, so they've had 4 years, and we've been telling them since year one, back in 2020, 2021, whenever it was, that there was communication issues. Well, and even when Carrie was there, right? She did the best job of it ever, but then they canned her for whatever reason. And that's about a year ago is when Brink stepped in as the primary go-to person, but he never had any answers. To me, there comes a point in time, and I've said this on the show many times before, there comes a point in time where the newness is over, the bumbling idiots, oh, we're a small company, we're a little bit disorganized and messy, and they have not put a priority on this on purpose at this point. After 4 years, they don't care. They don't care about customer support. They don't care about customer service.
I think they have certain parts of the company that works well. One part that I think works well is, and I'm going to use Townstar here, or whatever it is, Common Ground World. I see posts from Common Ground World all the time. I see that they have new NFTs out every week. So I see a process that they do, that they maintain, that they keep going every week. And they have a way of getting money and awarding money, is if you make, certain level on the leaderboard, then you'll get money at the end of the week. So I see something functional there. The other applications, the other programs seem to be all over the place. EOE seems like it's not done. Superior is it's got some content going, and apparently, by the way, we just saw a legal document the other day saying that Superior, the people who make Superior, which is Drifter and Gala, have agreed to terminate their lawsuits. So they're cease and desisting all lawsuits. They're not suing each other. They're all done now. I think that was the question. I think Free wanted to know, okay, are we going to see Superior updates now because Drifter and Gala have decided no longer to go after each other? So we still don't know the answer to that, because I believe Bitbender was just like, I don't know the answer to that question. Great, who does? And I mean, so if you want to find out an answer to a question on Gala's Discord, you've got to say, okay, who's in charge of this Superior thing? Oh, that's the Superior developer. Okay, Superior developer, what are you doing with Gala? They're going to say, I don't know. And then you're going to say, hey, Benefactor, what are you doing with, you're going to have to talk to 7 or 8 different people. Be very, 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 very persistent just to find out a piece of information. Who's going to do that? Nobody. So you're just not going to find out. You're going to ask, Bitbender's going to say, I don't know. And then they're going to normalize that as the answer and say, hey, we're not Gala. We're not Gala. This is all Gala.
It's the finger pointing. And that's kind of what I wanted to wrap up the show with. As my final 2 cents, is the engagement of all this. So as you guys have well known, I've stepped way back from the whole Gala thing since just before the new year, right? We're coming up on tomorrow, 6 months into the new year. And here's the thing, and this might sound shitty to some people. Please don't take it as me being a jerk, but you've got to quit obsessing over Gala. It's the glory days are gone, okay? And I'm gonna say something that hopefully is intended to wake you up, okay? Since I've stopped obsessing about Gala over the last 6-9 months, whatever it is, I've been focusing on other things and other projects and other teams that are delivering things, they're doing things. I'm focusing on my projects. I'm focusing on helping Faz with his projects. I'm helping where I can with stuff that other entities are doing. But I've also been researching my own tokens. And this year so far, I've made $17,000 in profit year to date because I've stopped obsessing about Gala and I've started trading. And there are people that I see in CFA, and when Faz pokes me over to the Gala Discord to read this drama about this whole day's event, people are spending 24/7 every waking minute obsessing about Gala. They're getting absolutely nowhere with it. You can engage until you're blue in the face. You're going to get nothing. So if I was obsessing about Gala, Gala has provided me next to nothing in value. Just a few node rewards, which is not very much.
So, sure.
I've taken my focus elsewhere and I've made money.
Okay.
That's what if I'm begging you to take a step back from Gala. It's obvious after 4 years you're going to get nowhere. Wait for them. If you're a fan of Gala, sit on the sidelines when you see an announcement or you hear on FazRadio that something epic has happened. Jump back in. But take your focus off of that right now because you're not going to get anywhere. There's nothing you can do. They're not releasing anything.
Right. You do realize that.
And do something else.
You realize that most of the people that are watching right now are watching for our Gala comments, right? So
That's why I'm trying to wake them up. I'm trying to shake them awake.
You're trying to tell all those people, stop talking about Gala. We'll talk about other things. Okay.
Not so much. I'm talking about the obsession they have. I have the obsession with the truth. We got to get to the bottom. I enjoy the drama. I enjoy, you know, all the silliness that goes on. I mean, everybody does. But people literally spend all of their focused energy on fighting with Gala and trying to get answers about Gala and all the things Gala. And there's nothing but talk going on. There's nothing happening. You're not making any money. You're wasting your time getting zero answers, like Faz wasted quite literally an entire day and didn't get an answer.
A few
You
hours.
You could have been making zip bugs. You could have been doing zip sprint updates.
You're fudging the truth there.
I'm not. You said the same thing. You spent hours trying to solve a problem that you never got an answer to.
An entire day, sir.
Just let it go. Let it go. Put them on the sidelines. If something big happens, you'll hear about it.
Just
like go find good projects.
Conspiracy theories. I don't like you being dishonest about, especially my stories. Yeah, it took me a few hours, and I was rather annoyed at the fact that they don't have their shit together. But this is how rumors happen. This is how things get wrong. When you say it took you literally all day, it did not. You can say that, but you're there. You weren't even part of the conversation, and you can see it all documented there. This is what I do: is I make
9 a.m. my time to 4 p.m. my time. You were in there talking.
Nope. You can say that, but the documentation is already there.
It's hours of your life that you wasted.
Yes, but it's not an entire day. I want to make this clear, because when you talk about other subjects, I want it to be clear that details matter and evidence matter. Now, I do like what you're saying about not obsessing over Gala Games, and I think that people watching this should start realizing that Gala does not have their shit together right now. They may get it back together later. I think if they get bought out, they'll have it together. Whatever company replaces them or buys out their IP might do a much better job than them, but they're not doing a good job right now. LFG, in my opinion, is not doing a good job replacing themselves, the moderators that they used to be, with their new stuff right now. Until they get better, they suck. But I'll want to check in on them from time to time to see what's going on. Anyway,
I'm just trying to encourage you to do your own thing, and some of you, I'm sorry, I see you like it's like 24/7 doing this stuff. Just stop, walk away. If something big happens, you got your stuff still, right?
All right. On that note, we are going to end it. Oh, what's this? I'll give Nick the last words. He saw an old cast. I believe you said something along the lines of buying NFTs from Mirandus and forgetting, since it would take years to release. I think that's what Titan is saying here too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying as well. Come back later. Wait till Mirandus is done the second time around, and then sell the news. Don't buy the news. Sell the news. That's my. I'm not a crypto advisor, so that's. Where's the button here?